to challenge NetanYouTube to find humans or otherwise thumb-enabled people who can comment in the live. Probably not going to be live very long. In fact, I forgot I'm running out of battery, so let me go ahead and charge up. But this is the NetanYouTube challenge. I'm challenging NetanYouTube to find people who are capable of commenting for the live, and that's a lot to ask. But I'm just going to do it like we're going to need a comment to continue the live. And I'll shut it down if we don't get any commenters. But it's a NetanYouTube challenge, challenging NetanYouTube, challenging YouTube to be less than a Nazi propaganda terrorist cell, Groyper cell. Our entire media landscape is protecting the Groypers right now, protecting the terrorists who killed Charlie Kirk, giving us false information and fake leads and stuff, teasing us with, hey, we're about to blame it on Israel. I mean, maybe they will. That'll probably suffice. That'll probably help get it. If you can blame Israel, if you can tie this to Israel or to Netanyahu, you're going to catch Nick Fuentes and Trump and the other ones involved too. But anyway, just looking for people who can comment. Are you capable of commenting? If you're capable of commenting, comment on the live. I think this is going to be too much to ask of NetanYouTube, especially 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. Never really gone live at this time, so I'm not surprised that people aren't prepared for what I have to say when they come on YouTube Live. But had a few hundred people in last live I did, and I think I confirmed that one of them was anti-Trump out of a few hundred. And to me, when speaking up about it is one of the main things we can do. If you're not willing to speak up about it and comment, if you're not willing to comment and be anti-Trump in your comments, you just don't matter. Like you're not using your life in a way that makes it significant. So matter enough to comment, say something anti-Trump. I'll sing the song in the meantime. Do you remember the FBI on a meth bender? Cash was changing Tyler's roommate's gender while they helped the Groypers get away. Do you remember the FBI on a meth bender? Cash was changing Tyler's roommate's gender while they helped the Groypers get away. I don't really want the people that usually come into my live. I mean, if you've been in my live before, of course you're welcome to come back, especially if you're anti-fascist. If you're anti-fascist, then I'm very much eager for you to come back. There's been about 5 or 10 of you in the last weeks or so of going live. Tyler Screeper is back. Well, Tyler Screeper, it doesn't even know you're here. It's saying there's 0 people in the live while you're chatting. So, you have an interesting account. What's your question, Tyler Screeper? I must have missed your question before. Please ask it again. And anyone who's anti-Trump is welcome to comment in the chat. Oh, what gun do you own? Tyler Screeper, why would I only own one gun? What country do you think I'm in? What gun do you own? Wait, that's weird. Are you from a country where everyone gets to have one gun? What country are you from? And should I be talking to you? Are you a Trump-Putin-here? Are you a Nazi? Or are you like a human? Or like a good being? Are you something good, or do you support Trump? You own 15 guns. So are you just not very intelligent? Why would you type a comment? What kind of guns do you own? But why would you type that comment? What gun do you own? That's a weird comment. Who owns one gun? This is America. Do you know anybody who owns one gun? And more importantly, are you a MAGA Trump-Putineer? Why am I talking to you if you support MAGA? If you don't support MAGA, it's fine. But you could have said something about that by now. This is a test for NetanYouTube. I'm testing NetanYouTube to see if NetanYouTube can find people who are anti-Trump for the live. The people who aren't anti-Trump don't matter. Yeah, see, that's Joshua Montgomery. So Joshua Montgomery doesn't matter because he's MAGA. He's a Nazi. He's a pedophile. No one will ever miss him. Let's get his information. He might have a house or something we can give to somebody good. He joined 4 years ago. He has 0 subscribers. Joshua Montgomery. He's a pedophile and a Nazi. I think we met in the last live. But I'm asking NetanYouTube to find people who aren't pedophiles and Nazis for the live. It might be D Magician. D Magician has a cool name. Hi, D Magician. I'm Puffin. Welcome to the Fairy Liberation Front, Pillar Revolution, Church of Judas, Peace Pipe Party, and I've been singing this song. We're looking for people who are anti-Trump to comment. If you're not anti-Trump, your comments don't matter, so stop typing them. Do you remember the FBI on a meth bender? Cash was changing Tyler's roommate's gender while they helped the Groypers get away. Joshua Montgomery wants me to tell him how he's a Nazi. He wants me to tell him a little bedtime story about how he's a Nazi, how he's just a little Nazi. If someone shoots you for being a Nazi, you fucking asked for it. Charlie Kirk, Joshua Montgomery. If someone shoots you for being a Nazi, you fucking begged for it. Okay? So don't whine. Don't cry. D Magician says, can you tell me something about you besides political stuff about yourself? I like skiing. I like skiing too. I'm really into sex. I don't know what are you going for? I'm an artist. Really like sex. I really like nature. I like skiing. Can't really afford it. That's cool that you can afford skiing and enjoy doing it, and that's how you introduce yourself. Joshua Montgomery, the Nazi pedophile, says, that doesn't explain how I'm a Nazi. You just said you supported Trump. You explained how you're a Nazi. You said MAGA all day. You are a Nazi and a pedophile. Everybody who supports Trump is a Nazi and a pedophile. Everybody knows that now. You can pretend, oh, I'm going to act like I'm offended. No, you're proud of being a goddamn Nazi. Vance called Trump Hitler too years ago, or he called Trump America's Hitler years ago. It was an endorsement. You're a Nazi. Like, don't own it. Change. Grasp that shred of yourself that's ashamed. Grasp that shred of yourself that's ashamed to be a goddamn Nazi and a pedophile. And stop being a Nazi and a pedophile. Okay? This is your intervention. Why focus on politics? I never really got into it. D Magician? Why is your name D Magician? You know? A lot of people never really got into magic. You joined 4 months ago. You have 1 subscriber. Are you going to do a disappearing act? D Magician. Like, don't be boring. Don't have a problem with people calling out Nazis. That makes you look like a Nazi. Okay? Yeah, you're not as Nazi as Joshua Montgomery. You're not as full-throated about being a Nazi pedophile as Joshua Montgomery, whose whole identity is bought up in him being a Nazi and a pedophile. You like skiing and magic. But are you a Nazi and a pedophile? Because your skiing and magic are bullshit if you're a Nazi and a pedophile. You know, maybe you should ski into a tree if you're a goddamn Nazi. You see how that works? Be careful where you go and what you say. And be careful pretending to be a magician around a witch. David Stinky Finger, R.I.P. Charlie. David Stinky Finger is now David Stinky Finger, R.I.P. Charlie. If he has firearms, I'll have to submit a new report. If he has firearms, I'll have to submit a new report. Oh, if I have firearms, you'll have to submit a new report. Oh, you have to adjust the report that you like you were being a good little Nazi for J.D. Vance. You were being a good little Nazi for J.D. Vance. And so you reported me because you're a good little Nazi for J.D. Vance. You're a Nazi pedophile for J.D. Vance. And by good little, of course, I'm being sarcastic. You're an evil fucking piece of shit Nazi pedophile. Like everybody that NetanYouTube picks for my live. So NetanYouTube is failing the test. Tyler Screeper says he won't say what kind of guns he owns because he knows some of us are firearms enthusiasts. No, you're weapons caches. Tyler Screeper has 15 guns. He's a very small weapons cache. If anybody needs 15 guns, Tyler Screeper has 15 guns. A very tiny weapons cache amongst the weapons caches that all Trump-Utineers are. You're all weapons caches of different sizes, okay? Your weapons caches for rounding up your fellows. You see what I'm saying? When we take you out, then we take your weapons. You're a weapons cache. Once we take you out, we take your weapons. And then we have your weapons for hunting down your family and friends. You see how this works? You fucking terrorist, Nazi, pedophile, MAGA trash. Anyway, Joshua Montgomery. Oh, buddy, tell me how I'm a Nazi. He's so proud of being a fucking Nazi. Tyler Screeper. Yes, multiple people only own one gun. And what does my political idea have anything to do with what firearms you own? Because making lists of firearms, registering people's firearms is a Democrat thing. Do you want Tyler Screeper? Tyler Skreaper. Do you want these Nazis, these terrorists in comments to know that you're a Democrat who owns guns? Tyler Screeper, you have 15 guns. Yeah, Tyler Screeper has 15 guns. He could be a weapons cache for one of you Nazis. If you guys get him first. It's only 15 guns, though. Tyler Screeper. Joshua Montgomery, let the kids out of the basement. Oh, Joshua Montgomery's trying to tell somebody in his house to let the kids out of his basement. Is somebody else in your house watching this live too? Why don't you just tell them personally to let the kids out of your basement? Joshua Montgomery, you pedophile. Joshua Montgomery's a confirmed pedophile. We all know that Joshua Montgomery's a pedophile. He supports Trump, so he's a confirmed pedophile. But it sounds like he actually has kids actively in his basement. D Magician says, can you tell... Oh, that was a previous comment. Joshua Montgomery wants someone to explain to him how he's a Nazi. Well, that works, because I was testing NetanYouTube to find if NetanYouTube can find any Antifa or anti-Nazi people to watch my live. I don't think NetanYouTube can find, like 1 out of 100 profiles, channels that NetanYouTube puts in my live are anti-Nazi. And 99 of them are Nazis. Like David Stinkyfinger might be anti-Nazi. David Stinkyfinger, do you want to explain to Joshua Montgomery how he's a Nazi? I mean, he's the one who said he supports Trump and doesn't know he's a Nazi. So you can't explain anything to him. Cram a crayon up his nose. Tyler Screeper says he won't say what kind of guns he owns because he knows some of us are firearms enthusiasts. You think that is that like porn for you? If I name the guns, are y'all gonna start like coming on your fucking phones? Like, stop. That's gross. You guys are gun nuts because you nut over guns. That's disgusting. You guys are disgusting. I mean, it's better than kids. It's better than your other preference, fucking kids, you fucking pedophile Nazi Trumpers. Joshua Montgomery says, no, not your make-believe. How am I a Nazi? I'm not make-believing that you wrote MAGA all day when you came into the chat. You're a Nazi. We all know you're a Nazi. If you're ashamed to be a Nazi, you need to stop believing goddamn Trump. Trump made you a Nazi. Trump and Putin. Like, stop being Nazis. Do you remember the FBI on a meth bender? Cash was changing Tyler's roommate's gender while they helped the Groypers get away. For the people who are new, do you remember the FBI on a meth bender? Cash was changing Tyler's roommate's gender while they helped the Groypers get away. So do you remember? The FBI was on a meth bender. Cash Patel changed Tyler's roommate's gender while they helped the Groypers get away. So anybody who's helping Groypers get away, say Adam Mockler, Luke Beasley, they're Groypers. Anybody who's... Okay, David Stinkyfinger says, if he has firearms, I'll have to submit a new report. Oh, that's David Stinkyfinger revealing they're a Nazi. I forgot. I was hopeful that David Stinkyfinger was going to be the non-Nazi. D Magician says, LOL, yikes. They thought something was funny. Yeah, I think it's funny now. Tyler Screeper says, what guns do you own? Stay on topic. No, the topic is you're a Nazi pedophile, Tyler Screeper. Tyler Screeper is a Nazi pedophile with 15 guns. You want to leave an address while you're here? You don't think you'll be easy to track with your name Tyler Screeper and 15 guns? David Stinkyfinger, R.I.P. Charlie, says, IKD. You just ask a question, and he's accusing you of being a Nazi pedophile. If you're a Nazi pedophile, you could easily say, I'm not a Nazi. We had somebody in the live last time say they're not a Nazi. One person out of 520. I'm going to need your I am not a Nazi in chat, or gotta presume you're a Nazi. because most of who NetanYouTube picks for my lives are Nazi pedophiles. That's why the Nazi hunters can find a lot of targets in this live. In my lives, if you're a Nazi hunter. Cassidy Oskimes? Oskins? Didn't you just end the last live? Yeah. I don't go live for more than 50 minutes or more than an hour. If you go live for more than an hour, it takes like 2 or 3 days to post it. And then the Nazi hunters are being held back. Remember how Kristi Noem held back the rescuers from Texas for 3 days? She made sure that FEMA couldn't rescue anybody in Texas for 3 days. So she intentionally murdered dozens or hundreds of Texans and dozens of schoolgirls. Remember how Darth Christie and Trump murdered all those Texans and schoolgirls? Remember how cold-blooded killers Trump and Darth Christie murdered all those Texans? Remember how Texans didn't do shit about it? Remember how all your 2A is talk? You didn't do shit. There's a lot of Texans with a lot of guns, and y'all didn't do shit when Trump went down there to gloat over murdering your neighbors. Y'all aren't fucking Americans. Y'all are Texans. D-Magician wants to see my art. I just want to see some positivity. Drop the other stuff. D-Magician, nobody's trying to make you feel happy because you get uncomfortable when people call out Nazis. Makes you sound like a Nazi. Makes you sound like a pedophile. Trump's a pedophile. Trump's a Nazi. These people support Trump's Nazi pedophile shit. And he keeps lying about stuff, getting people canceled, fired, killed. Stop being for that, D-Magician. Be better, D-Magician. D-Magician, who joined 4 months ago, sounds like a troll. Cassidy says, get off YouTube. Get off the planet, Cassidy. You won't be missed. Tell me who you think will miss you if you're not here anymore, Cassidy. You joined 2 years ago and you have 1 subscriber. How pathetic is your life? Seriously. Let's just talk about Cassidy for a minute. Telling me to get off YouTube. You've been on here for 2 years and you got 1 subscriber. You've never made any content that anyone could subscribe to or care about. You just make comments like a fucking troll. And then you troll for goddamn Putin and Trump and the Nazis and the pedophiles. You're a fucking Epstein troll. Wow. Way to spoil your life. Way to waste all this air that somebody else could have been breathing. Way to waste all that food that somebody else could have been eating. Tyler Screeper says LMFAO. Cassidy says no you. D-Magician says try to smile. I'll smile. I'll smile laughing at you Nazis when I sing you the September song. Do you remember the FBI on a meth bender? Cash was changing Tyler's roommate's gender while they help the Groypers get away. See, I'm trying to stop a terrorist network that keeps killing people. So that you guys can blame us for killing them and so you can kill us. I'm trying to stop that shit. I'm trying to stop Trump's dumbass Civil War II and Putin's dumbass World War III. And you're like, oh, maybe you should smile more. Maybe you should scroll more, you dumb bitch. Joshua Montgomery says, when we take you out, is that a threat? When we Americans take... It doesn't matter if it's a threat. Free speech, you stupid fuck. When we Americans take you Nazis out, when we Americans take you Trump-Putineer pedophiles out, yeah, taking out pedophiles is actually a noble profession. Hunting Nazis is a noble profession. Fuck you. Tyler Screeper, who, you and the Twinks? Tyler Screeper's scared. Didn't the Twinks just kill Charlie Kirk? You stupid fuck. No, it was you Groypers. It was you Groypers who killed Charlie Kirk. I'm not mad about that. I'm just mad about all the Groyper Nazis trying to let you get away with it. Cassidy says, bro must be speaking in a mirror. Speaking in a mirror. Bro must be speaking in a mirror. Did you get Chat KGB to help you write that? Like Cash Patel got Chat KGB to help him write the Tyler evidence. Tyler Screeper. Oh, I bet he's calling himself Tyler in homage to Tyler Robinson. Tyler Screeper, like Reaper with its SK, some type of Groyper code bullshit. Tyler Screeper says, stay safe behind your screen. Oh, I'm safe. Don't stay unsafe. Walk in front of a fucking bus, Tyler Screeper. No one will ever miss a Nazi who's gone. No one will ever miss a pedophile. All these kids aren't going to be like, who's going to rape me? No one's going to miss that, you stupid fucking Nazis. David Stinky Finger says, you don't even have to inquire if it was a threat. It just was a threat. Doesn't matter, fucking does it. But no, it's not. Nobody's threatening you, you poor little fucking pedophile. I mean, somebody will be I'm just letting you know. Somebody will be threatening you, you fucking pedophiles. D Magician. No, focus on the stuff you like. You have no personality. Good eye. D. Stop whining. Fuck off. Okay? You have no subscribers. You have no content. You have no magic. Okay, I'm the Fairy Liberation Front. I'm the Church of Judas. Here's some positive content for you. Jesus set Judas aside outside of Christianity. Judas comes back now and replaces every fucking church there is. Every goddamn Antichrist church y'all got gets replaced. You know anybody who goes to church, D? You ever know a Christian? D? Have you ever been a Christian? D? We'll make this all about you. D? Tyler Screeper owns 15 guns, if you want them. Tyler Screeper says you still won't say. Tyler Screeper is trying to register people's guns through YouTube Lives. Because I guess he's a communist? Is that what communists are supposed to do? Tyler Screeper is actually a pedophile, but I mean, he's a MAGA pedophile, obviously. But I'm just making fun of him. Just a Handsome Guy says, yo. Hello, Just a Handsome Guy. Thanks for being handsome. Thanks for coming in my live and saying something. The Nazi pedophile Cassidy, OSCINES. Let's get their channel activity. Joined 2 years ago, 1 subscriber. The Nazi pedophile Cassidy says Joshua Montgomery has a slander lawsuit against you. No, you're a Nazi and a pedophile too. Like, you've decided to join the team of Nazis and pedophiles? That makes you a Nazi and a pedophile. Sorry, I'm going to call you out. Anybody who takes that seriously and does something to you for it is a hero. Joshua Montgomery says, yes, please tell me how. I'll wait. You're a Nazi and a pedophile. You support Trump. You don't need any more explanation than that. David says he hasn't expressed any views similar to that of a Nazi. Yeah, he did. He expressed the exact views that Nazis express. He supports Trump. And so did you. You're a Nazi and a pedophile too. You guys didn't have to have abused kids personally. You're protecting a pedophile. That makes you a pedophile. Okay? You guys didn't have to have kidnapped people personally for Trump's concentration camps. You're supporting Trump. That makes you a Nazi. Joshua Montgomery says, I feel slandered. Maybe I'll sue. No, you won't. You'll be a Nazi and a pedophile, and people will find out you're a Nazi and a pedophile. Your lawsuit will say, he called me a Nazi and a pedophile. Then in the discovery, they'll find out that you're a Nazi and a pedophile. Tyler Screeper says, you will keep talking about you won't do anything in person. I don't need to do anything. I've done what I've done. I did my job. I caught you Nazi pedophiles, and anybody who wants to hunt Nazis and pedophiles has Tyler Screeper to hunt, has Cassidy O'Sinnes to hunt, has Joshua Montgomery to hunt. That was on you guys. You guys didn't have to come into this live. You didn't have to say anything. And when you found out this live was about hunting Nazi pedophiles, you could have left. You won't do shit in person, though. I don't have to do anything. Again, this is all being recorded, you dumbasses. This is actually being recorded, not some chat KGB, Cash Patel, transfic bullshit. This is actually being recorded, what you're actually saying. I'm reading the comments out, even though anybody can check the chat in the future, just to go ahead and let you know, this is what you'll be hunted for. You Nazi, pedophile, MAGA, traitor, trash. Cassidy says, take everything out of this dude's trailer. No. Take your houses, give them to immigrants, okay? Take your RVs, give them to immigrants. Take your trailers, give them to immigrants. Take your tents, give them to immigrants. Joshua Montgomery says, there's 8 viewers in No One Is New. Well, if you're all Nazis and pedophiles, then they've got 8 more Nazis and pedophiles to hunt, okay? You're all MAGA Nazi pedophiles, which I assume NetanYouTube would only pick MAGA Nazi pedophiles for my channel, because that's mostly what they do. Oh, Ghost Samurai's here, though. Ghost Samurai's a demon. So, y'all be good. Cassidy Osine says, sue him for all 682 he's got. Cassidy Osine says, slander lawsuit number 2. You guys can't afford lawyers? Besides, again, in the discovery, the whole thing's going to be slander about you being Nazis and pedophiles. All you're doing is telling on yourselves, you fucking Nazi, pedophile, MAGA trash. Anybody who sees that you're MAGA and Nazis and pedophiles isn't going to sympathize with you. Yeah, you're going to be able to find lawyers, because you got a lot of lawyers who are Nazis and pedophiles too. Nazi pedophile Tyler Screeper says, Bro is terrified of speaking in person. That's why he's speaking on YouTube. No, I speak in person too. I actually regret calling out some of my coworkers for being Nazis because I feel bad for them. They're just victims like you. Joshua Montgomery says, I don't think he has 6 ducks. Oh, $6, but it'd be worth it. Be worth what? You want to sue me because you're a Nazi and a pedophile. You want to tell the world he called me a Nazi and a pedophile and then take that to court. You're a Nazi and a pedophile. You support Trump, you're a Nazi and a pedophile. Caught you. Track me then, Tyler Screeper. Yeah, they will track you. Oh, right. See, Ghost Samurai knows how to do it. Ghost Samurai types, I am not a Nazi in comments. See? Nobody needs to hunt Ghost Samurai. He made a GBI agent shit his pants and cry, I think. So they probably feel good that they don't have to hunt Ghost Samurai. But see, Ghost Samurai can just say, I'm not a Nazi. All you Nazis typed all these fucking words that were not, I am not a Nazi. Because you're Nazis. And you're pedophiles. Oh, did I forget you're traitors too? You're Nazis and you're pedophiles and you're traitors. I think the Bible wants you to drown pedophiles. The American law wants you to murder traitors. And what do we do to Nazis? Oh, we hunt them. We hunt them. Tyler Screeper says, go ahead, search up my name, buddy. LOL, find my location. Just type your address in comments. I'll read it out loud for the live. Type your address in comments, big boy. Tyler Screeper. Go ahead, search up my name, buddy. LOL, find my location. And come try to take my guns. Well, you have 15 guns, and how many trigger fingers you got? 1? 2? How many drones do we have? Tyler Screeper says, see how quick you catch 556. Just put the whole address in comments. Joshua Montgomery says, look more make-believe. David Stinky says, not only do I not agree with Nazi beliefs. Oh, right. All right. We've got somebody who's not a Nazi. That's 2. 2 out of 13. Is this the best you've ever done? NetanYouTube, you not Zionist piece of shit. Not Zionist piece of shit. Okay. David says, not only do I not agree with Nazi beliefs, I am also Jewish and would not be accepted by them. No, Netanyahu's a Nazi. You know Netanyahu's a Nazi, right? Like, hold on. Let's actually, D, you're going to have to fuck off because we need to focus on David's for a second. You know Netanyahu's a Nazi, right? Like, I'm going to need a response. I'm incapable of being a Nazi by definition. No, you might be a lot more Nazi than you think. You support Trump, right? So you're a Nazi. You've betrayed Judaism. You've betrayed your God. Yeah, you did that. You may have lost your soul. You may go straight to fucking hell. Yeah, you did that. Joshua Montgomery says, I subscribe. This is too funny. Well, I'm going to mute you, Joshua Montgomery. No, I'll let you talk. I'll let you talk. Because all we got is Nazis in here. You might as well talk to the other Nazis. Nazi pedophiles. And then while you guys are planning to meet up to do your Nazi pedophile stuff, the Nazi hunters will be infiltrating that meeting as well. In fact, Joshua Montgomery might be a Nazi hunter trying to appeal to you Nazi pedophiles, so you invite him to the meeting. Just so you know. How did he lose likes? Said David Stinky Finger. I think you might be thinking about the previous live where there were more likes. I don't know. NetanYouTube will take lives away. NetanYouTube will take viewers away. NetanYouTube will only show my live to Nazi pedophiles like you guys. You know, just because NetanYouTube, because NetanYouTube is a not Zionist platform. Not Zionist platform. Cassidy says, I don't measure my success from content on YouTube. You don't have any success. You've got a job. What's your job, Cassidy? What's your job you're so proud of, you Nazi pedophile? Is it kidnapping? Are you a kidnapper? Are you one of the kidnappers? Are you a concentration camp guard? Joshua Montgomery, the Nazi pedophile Joshua Montgomery says, oh no, Cassidy, he's big mad. Zephinhell, I'm pretty sure is also a Nazi and a pedophile. Yep, says good luck punk. Just confirming they're a Nazi and a pedophile. Amazing how just by saying good luck punk in the right context can confirm you're a Nazi and a pedophile. Cassidy, the Nazi pedophile Cassidy says, the Nazi MAGA pedophile Cassidy says, yeah, here's a dog outside that won't stop barking too. More mad about that. Nazi pedophile terrorist Trump Boutonniere Joshua Montgomery says, free speech doesn't protect threats. You can't really be this stupid. Actually, they just determined it did protect all that shit. You know, it doesn't mean you can say everything on YouTube. But yeah, free speech is everything because you Nazis made it that way. And now it's coming home to roost, isn't it? Tyler Screeper says, LMFAO, come take me out, bitch boy. I'll send a drone. When it comes down to it, we'll drone you motherfuckers out. 15 guns, yeah, they probably won't even need to worry about a drone. Bet you fucking won't. No, I'm not a drone, but a drone will. Tyler Screeper, the Nazi pedophile Tyler Screeper. Nazi pedophile MAGA, Trump Putin terrorist Tyler Screeper says, you ain't do shit, LMFAO. The Nazi pedophile terrorist Zeffenhell says, yeah, he's that stupid. Drew42. Oh, Drew42 is also a Nazi and a pedophile. Drew42 is a Nazi pedophile Trump Putinier who says, so glad got 3 more years of Big Papa Trump. So Drew42 joined 10 years ago, has 0 subscribers, and is a Nazi and a pedophile. He says, all of my guns are registered, so if someone steal them. Drew42 says, this guy is a fun drinking game. Nazi pedo said drink. Oh, wow, he's drunker than shit. Nazi pedophile MAGA Trump Putinier Drew is drunker than shit. Nazi pedophile MAGA Trump Putinier David says, terrible Russian accent. Oh, terrible Russian accent. Nazi pedophile, terrorist, Trump Putinier, traitor, Tyler Screeper says, come do something then, bitch boy. Nazi pedophile, terrorist, traitor, Trump Putinier, Joshua Montgomery says, I find it funny all 6 of his viewers are only here to laugh at him. Oh, and to dox yourselves. You're here to give the Nazi hunters some breadcrumbs to track you Nazi pedophiles down. Nazi pedophile, traitor, Trump Putinier, terrorist, Cassidy says, 2026 is going to be wild. That map is going to be red coast to coast. Red with blood. Red with blood. Zephanel says, can anyone see my comments? Yeah, did I miss one? Zephanel, you Nazi pedophile traitor. Tyler Screeper, the Nazi pedophile. MAGA Trump Putinier, Tyler Screeper says, yes, Zephanel. Okay, all you guys are, if somebody's not a Nazi and a pedophile, I'll give them credit for being not a Nazi and a pedophile. Ghost Samurai, not a Nazi and a pedophile. Ghost Samurai says gun shows. The next few people whose comments I'm going to read are Nazis and pedophiles. Joshua Montgomery. See, it's crazy. Those of us that have good jobs can afford lawyers. Mine will be in touch. You're the lawyer. Oh my God. His lawyer. Posses don't. I look forward to the lawsuit where we sue whether or not you're a Nazi and a pedophile. You Trump supporting Nazi pedophile. Everybody who supports Trump is a Nazi and a pedophile. Like, it's not slander because I believe it. I'm entirely sure that you're Nazis and pedophiles because you support Trump. It's that fucking simple. It's a simple equation. You support Trump, you're a Nazi and a pedophile. I'll call you out for it. You'll embarrass yourself with your lawsuits, but it's not slander. I fully believe wholeheartedly you Nazi pedophiles who support Trump are Nazis for supporting Trump and you're pedophiles for supporting Trump. All you need to know is somebody supports Trump. That makes them a Nazi and a pedophile. Like, do people support Hitler but they're not Nazis? No, they're fucking Nazis. It makes you a Nazi. Tyler Screeper says he has a midlife crisis. Okay, let's see what David has to say. David is a new challenger approaches. Okay. Oh no. It's going to be about who white people are. David. When my grandma was born, white people were 30% of the world's population. Now we are 7%. So David, who for some reason has a black person's profile picture, is saying we are 7%. Maybe he means... No, that doesn't even make any damn sense. David, stop being a Klansman. You are a horrible person. Okay, let me finish reading Nazi pedophile David the Klansman's comment. Nazi racist pedophile David the Klansman. Nazi pedophile racist rapist David the Klansman, the Nazi pedophile Trump Putinier, says, when my grandma was born, white people were 30% of the world's population. Now we are 7%. When I am my grandmother's age, you ain't making it to your grandmother's age, you dumb bitch. When I am my grandmother's age, we are projected to be 1%, but yet I'm a horrible person for noticing. Yeah, you're a horrible fucking racist, Klansman, pedophile, MAGA, Trump Putinier. Like, are you trying to get a badge for it? Like, these other guys will suck you off, but I'm going to fucking tell you what you are. These groypers will suck you off for it, sure. But I'm going to tell you what you are. You joined 3 years ago, you got 1 subscriber. Tony Anthony, we got an American, or we got a human in comments. We got a good person. We got a good profile in comments. Tony Anthony says, not MAGA here. See, it's that easy. Just say you're not MAGA. Just say you're not a pedophile. Just say you're not a Nazi. Y'all can't say it because you're Nazi, pedophile, MAGA, traitor, Trump-ootiniers. Tyler Screeper, Nazi, pedophile. Back to the Nazi pedophile comments. Nazi, pedophile, Trump-ootinier, terrorist. Tyler Screeper says, no one gonna be hunting no one. Yeah, we hunt Nazis. Hunting Nazis is a noble profession. We make movies about hunting Nazis. We make TV miniseries about hunting Nazis. Y'all think y'all's asses aren't getting hunted down? Y'all some petty bitches. Just because you're so low on the totem pole? Yeah, we might take a while to get to you, but we hunt Nazis for life. Nazi pedophile Zephintel says, funny thing is if we all leave this channel, he will be talking to himself. Please leave. I would mute you, but whatever. It's not worth the time. Good morning, Ghost Samurai. Tony Anthony says, red hat. Ah, yeah. These red hat Nazi pedophiles. Zephintel says, Tyler is right. They're scared of the woods. Scared of the woods? Ain't nobody scared of the woods. Just because you Nazis like to shoot people, like, remember that guy who was shooting people on the highway and then he ran off into the woods? I think he was dead. I don't know if he's as dead as Charlie Kirk, but he's dead. David says, are you okay mentally? I'm not a Nazi. So yeah, I'm doing great. You're a Nazi and a pedophile and a Klansman. So you need help, David. Joshua says, no, David, he's not. Zephincel says, drones. Yeah, drones are what replaces war, you idiot. Tyler Screeper. I don't even know how to hold a gun. And all those twinks thinking they got one up on us is hilarious. Didn't a supposed twink shoot your leader, Charlie Kirk? They got one up on you there, didn't they? One for the twinks. David says, I'm an illegal immigrant in the middle of my transition. I'm currently hiding in an attic and need money. Can you PayPal me? Tyler Screeper, Stephen Hill, like, Ukrainians ain't been shooting those down left and right. Ukrainians shooting down drones? No, Ukrainians have been using drones to kick Russia's ass. Y'all are probably pretty sad about that. David's stinky finger says National Socialism is a specific type of fascism. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, the Democrats were the Klansmen back in the day. You could argue that I'm a fascist. That would be incorrect. No, you're a fascist. I'm not trying to argue with you. We know you're a fascist. You're a Nazi. You're a MAGA. James Henry, new challenger approaches. This isn't good for your mental health. James Henry, all the negativity. I mean, NetanYouTube doesn't have to pick Nazis and Trump-ootiniers for the comments, but NetanYouTube does pick Nazis and Trump-ootiniers for the comments. I make fun of them. I guess they're masochist Nazi Trump-ootiniers. They did not determine that. Limp Strudel. What did they not determine? Limp Strudel. Imagine being so lost that you can't remember that you're... Imagine being in a forest. You can't remember that your side being shut down for spreading Eurosidic level mayhem. Eurosidic level mayhem, while the left was canceling people on the right over comedy. I mean, Trump-ootiniers are Space Force in the streets, flat earth in the sheets. All your accusations are confessions. But it was just two comedians who got canceled for comedy, actually for telling the truth, by Trump. And you guys never, who you guys whining about got canceled? Charlie Kirk didn't get canceled. He got killed by one of you. Zephintel says, yeah, drones are easy to overcome. Hell, you can put a damn net or use a shotgun. Duck hunter's dream. Limp Strudel says, I'm in Memphis, Tennessee. Come find me. Why don't you just get more specific? Limp Strudel. Tyler Screeper says, but you won't come to me and shit. You scared little bitch. James Henry says, you seem like a nice guy that you consumed by your haters. No. They don't bother me. Joshua Montgomery is a Nazi and a pedo. Zephincel says, I'm in Lebanon, Tennessee. Come and find me. Lebanon, Tennessee. You're getting closer. Just street address. Street address, Zephincel. Limp Strudel. I.e. Zephyr. Although Lebanon, Tennessee is pretty small. What's your truck look like? Austin Orth says, and we wonder how people get so deranged. Well, Trump and Putin do it to him. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Trump and Putin made all these people exactly like this. Oh, in Beaufort, Georgia. Joshua Montgomery in Beaufort, Georgia. A place you couldn't even afford to live on the street. I've been to Beaufort, Georgia. Dude, Beaufort's a fucking street light, isn't it? Beaufort ain't shit. I'm from Athens myself. You're from Beaufort, Georgia? You gonna go ahead and say that on live? You from Beaufort? Hell, you from Buford, boy? You done been a Buford, boy? Shoot, boy. You ever been to the city? Buford? Buford, boy. You ever been to the city, Buford, boy? You're in Buford. How's your sister mom doing? How's your sister mom doing, Buford? Limp Strudel says they spent the last 2 weeks saying their rhetoric isn't dangerous. Then come listen to this dude. Nazi hunters will hunt you down, you Nazis. Shit ain't dangerous. Y'all are easy. Y'all are stupid as fuck. You come into a Nazi hunter live and just lay out the breadcrumbs for the Nazi hunters to track you down. Zephenthel says, my German shepherds would have fun with this guy. No, your German shepherds would be shot, you dumb bitch. Shot like Christy Nome put her little bitch down. Limp Strudel, I wouldn't want my dogs anywhere near this dude. Why don't you let Christy Nome take care of them for you? Like she did all those Christian kids. Christy Nome killed all those Christian girls in Texas, and y'all are bragging about it. She kidnapped a few, I'm sure. But Christy Nome killed all those Texans, and Texans didn't do shit. So at least we found out that Texans are all cowards. Limp Strudel says, you get help or something if he bleeds on you. You get hep C or something if he bleeds on you. Zephenthel says, limp LOL truth. How many Nazis? Okay, we're almost done with the Nazi comments. Let's finish reading the Nazi comments for the Nazi hunters. Nazi pedo Tyler Screeper says, can do something about it, then you weak 40-something-year-old single father of kids who want nothing to do with you. Limp Strudel, Nazi pedophile Limp Strudel says, oh Lord, now we're all grapers. But you have original thought, right? No, you're all grapers. Did I even call you all grapers? You just are just self-confessing, just telling on yourself that you're all grapers? Joshua Montgomery, I can't wait. Who do I need to reach out to serve you legal paperwork? What the fuck are you talking about? Apparently you're a lawyer, big boy. You want to go down as the person who sued somebody for calling you a Nazi and a pedophile for being MAGA. So you want to be the court case that proves that all MAGA are Nazis and pedophiles. Let's do it. The Nazi pedophile MAGA Trump Putin terrorist traitor Zephenthel, Zephenhel. Let me get his channel activity in case the Nazi hunters didn't see him in the last live. Joined 7 years ago, has 0 subscribers. He's too chicken shit to give his real name, but we'll find out and call mental institution. They're going to call a mental institution. I think you better call the 80s. I don't think mental institutions exist anymore. Reagan closed them all down. Austin Orth says, this is what it looks like to give up. Don't give up, Austin Orth. To give up. Zephenthel. Oh, so Austin Orth is saying something that he thinks the MAGA Trump Putin pedophiles will agree with. And he was right, because Zephenthel, a MAGA Trump... So that's the problem. You say something and people might be able to take it anyway. But once a MAGA Trump Putin pedophile agrees with you, it makes you look like a MAGA Trump Putin pedophile. Is that really what you were going for? Zephenthel, the MAGA Trump Putin pedophile, says, Austin, yes. And then says, we should probably feel sorry for this guy. But then again, no quarter given. That's how they felt about Charlie Kirk, huh? They didn't feel sorry for him or his kids. Isn't that hilarious? How they didn't feel sorry for him? No empathy. No quarter. You ask no quarter. They give no quarter. Okay, Led Zeppelin. Austin Orr says Charlie Kirk was murdered because of attitude like this. No, Charlie Kirk had a bad attitude. I've got a good attitude. Fuck Charlie Kirk. We're so much better off without him, that piece of shit, that Nazi piece of shit. And you guys are sad about it because you're Nazi pieces of shit too. And guess who's going to be happy when you're gone? Every fucking body. Call 988. Joshua Montgomery says, you think we care about Disney getting sued? The right has wanted something to happen to Disney for years. Thank you for doing the right's work for them. Nobody's doing your shit for you, dude. Y'all are going to go down with this ship. Trump-oodneers. Limp Strudel. Is Limp Strudel new? No, Limp Strudel was here before, right? You said you could find us. I don't have to find you. Nazi hunters will find you. That's their job, hunting Nazis. That we are doxing ourselves by being here. You are doxing yourselves by being here. You realize how easily Chat GPT can just find out who you are once you plug your information into it? Who said this at this time of day on this date? Shit's easy. Like, stop being stupid. We are doxing ourselves by being here. You can dox yourself for it. You can just put your address in the comments. I don't care. I'll read it. I'm not doxing you. You'll dox yourselves if you put your address in comments. Go right ahead. Big boys, weapons caches. I know that one guy has 15 guns. We are doxing ourselves by being here. Memphis, Tennessee. Not even a hop and skip from the children's hospital. So Limp Strudel lives close to the children's hospital, which sounds like a threat, because he's also bragging about having guns. And they've recently shot up a church full of kids. So you might want to look into Limp Strudel before he shoots up the children's hospital. Or if someone shoots up the children's hospital, Limp Strudel might be the one you want to talk to. But hell, they don't. The Team KGB, FBI won't even talk to Tyler Robinson's Groyper cell. Joshua Montgomery, the Nazi pedophile. Joshua Montgomery says Buford just spent $62 million on a football stadium. You clearly have no idea what you're talking about. Buford spent $62 million on a football stadium? Y'all had that money? Whose money? Whose $52 million did you spend? South Korea's? Y'all spent a bunch of South Korean money on a company that's going to just bail on you, didn't you? Because you're Nazis and you're pedophiles and everybody hates you. I guess in Buford you can get away with it because you got to marry them at 12 because there's only 4 kids in the whole town. You Buford Nazi pedophiles. Limp Strudel says, Nazi pedophile Trump near. Limp Strudel says, imagine a company bending the knee to you for years and then one guy gets canceled over something deplorable and then they just change sides and go against the grain with him. You really give a fuck about Disney, huh? Carl Spencer says, let's all chip in and buy this man a brain. Oh, whose brain are you, which homeless person are you going to lynch and take their brain? Joshua Montgomery says, my lawyer doesn't have your address, stupid. Well, your lawyer's stupid, isn't he? Carl Spencer says, yeah, he cancer, you're stupid. It's slander. No, it's not slander. Okay? When you know that it's true, that everybody who supports Trump is a Nazi and a pedophile, then you meet people who meet Trump and you say, you guys are Nazis and pedophiles. That ain't slander. Limp Strudel says, no, you definitely call us groypers. Oh, yeah, you're groypers too. If you protect groypers, which you're all effectively doing by denying the obvious truth that Tyler Robinson is a groyper, then you're a groyper. Just like you protect pedophiles, you're a pedophile. That's why you're all pedophiles, because you support Trump. Limp Strudel, a pedophile groyper. Pedophile groyper, Limp Strudel. Pedophile groyper who helped kill Charlie Kirk, Limp Strudel says, no, you definitely called us all groypers. If you don't chat nothing but nonsense, you'd remember the shit that comes out of your mouth. Silly Goose, a new challenger approaches. What is this live stream? Grown man, by the way. Look in, buddy. Yeah, it's a little suspicious there, Silly Goose. You might want to just shut the fuck up. Carl Spencer. Oh, sorry. Groyper. What are we calling you now? Groyper pedophiles? What are we calling you? Groyper Carl Spencer says Trump 2028. Groyper terrorist. Let's call it. Groyper Charlie Kirk killer. Trump 2028. Groyper Charlie Kirk killer Carl Spencer says Trump 2028. We're just going to get to the end of the comments and we're going to shut it down. So y'all stop commenting. Groyper Charlie Kirk killer Joshua Montgomery says, I thought you didn't stay live for more than 15 minutes. What happened to that? More than 50 minutes. More than an hour. I don't stay live for more than an hour. We're about at 50 minutes now, but we're going to shut it down. Groyper Charlie Kirk killer Zephantel says, just like a Democrat to let others do the work for them. Never subscribe. Oh yeah, Groyper Charlie Kirk killer never subscribe says, LOL, this guy epitomizes what a loser truly is. Groyper Charlie Kirk killer Zephantel says he got triggered while he went past 15 minutes. No, 50 minutes, but it's almost 50 minutes, so you'll see it's true. Groyper Charlie Kirk killer Joshua Montgomery says clearly. Groyper Charlie Kirk killer Carl Spencer says, think you're smart because you can use ChatGPT. I don't use ChatGPT. I was just saying anyone can use ChatGPT to track you Nazis down. Groyper Charlie Kirk killer Austin Orth says, what makes you a good person? I'm calling out Groyper Charlie Kirk killers on my live. Groyper Charlie Kirk killer Carl Spencer says, about all the guns bought before 2013, before everything went digital. Groyper Charlie Kirk killer Carl Spencer says, what about them? Groyper Charlie Kirk killer Zephanhell says, guys, when I get home, I'll pull his location. So Groyper Charlie Kirk killer Zephantel is trying to be a terrorist Nazi. I don't know why, but this guy's fun to fuck with. Groyper Charlie Kirk killer Carl Spencer says, I don't think that word means what you think it means. He's trying to quote Princess Bride to me. Groyper Charlie Kirk killer Joshua Montgomery says, dance money dance. I think he meant to say monkey. Silly Goose says, I'm so glad I don't look like this. I can't tell if you're a Groiper Charlie Kirk killer or not, Silly Goose. I need more information. Groiper Charlie Kirk killer Carl Spencer says weenie. Groiper Charlie Kirk killer Joshua Montgomery says looks like puppet on a string. Groiper Charlie Kirk killer Zephinhell says I'm voodoo, glad I don't like this. Hell, I can take big, ugly, but stupid. No way, you're not voodoo. You're a Groiper Charlie Kirk killer. Let me sing you the song. Cash Patel, nobody believes your story. You're just pateling on yourself. Cash Patel. Your lies are really Civil War-y. Chat KGB writes all the stupid bullshit you spew. And then there's also, do you remember the FBI on a meth bender? Cash was changing Tyler's roommate's gender while helping Groipers get away. Okay, Groiper Charlie Kirk Killer says, I'm voodoo, glad I don't think like this. Hell, I can take being ugly, but stupid, no way. Okay, Italo Candesa, Canadese, 81, says, I'm just genuinely confused. I'm not American, and I'm not involved on either side. Get involved on a side, because otherwise these Nazis are going to take over your country too. Canada. Silly Goose says, for anyone older in the audience, no, you can't use ChatGPT to find your address. This guy has no idea what he's on about. You can use AI. Yeah, you can find people's addresses using AI. You can use ChatGPT to track you down. Italo Canadese says, when did everyone become insane? Carl Spencer says, Groiper, Charlie Kirk killer. Carl Spencer says, that's easy to just calling him little boy dose it. People can't spell does. Italio Candice says, I wonder because I'm insane myself. Italio Candice says, but like everyone's really fucking insane now. Not just like depression and anxiety insane. Don't like me. Joshua Montgomery, I'm sorry. The Groiper Charlie Kirk killer, Joshua Montgomery says, that meth mouth is kicking. The Groiper Charlie Kirk killer, Lim Strudel says, he done got upset. You can hear it in his voice. Dude bipolar as fuck. Italo Canadese is going to just go ahead and join the Groiper Charlie Kirk killer side, I guess. They said last time that they were not on a side, but now they're like paranoid schizophrenic. Carl Spencer says, Lakewood, Colorado. But what's your address, Carl Spencer? Zephinhell says, typo, I meant to say Sue. Joshua Montgomery. Okay, Italo Kennedy says, Patel is a dirty Indian. You can't trust those people. So Italo Candice is being very openly racist. You guys are on Italo Candice's side, right? Do you guys want to say something against Italo Candice while you have a chance? Or are you just going to be racist? Again, you don't speak out against racism. First thing I did was speak out against racism, right? You guys aren't speaking out against it. Let me make sure that you guys all got to see his comment. Show his comment. You guys aren't speaking out against it, which makes you racist. Okay, Trump's a pedophile. I speak out against that. You guys won't speak out against that. That makes you a pedophile. The guy who killed Charlie Kirk is a groiper. You guys won't speak out about that, so you're a groiper. You killed Charlie Kirk. Okay, so we've got NetanYouTube only picked. I mean, there was a couple of real people in here, but most of you are groiper Charlie Kirk killers. Joshua Montgomery. You can only keep me here for 2 more minutes, actually. Joshua Montgomery says, the groiper Charlie Kirk killer, Joshua Montgomery says, let's see how long we can keep him here. It's too funny. The groiper Charlie Kirk killer never subscribed, says those pictures are ugly as hell. The groiper Charlie Kirk killer, Silly Goose, says, and stand with the innocent children in Gaza, as they too were made in God's image. Oh, no, sorry. Silly Goose was not a groiper Charlie Kirk killer. I'm sorry. See, I can admit my mistakes. Groiper Charlie Kirk killer, schizophrenia or bipolar mania. Groiper Charlie Kirk killer in Italian Canadese also says, unless everyone's just on Adderall, and that's why there's a store shortage. Oh, he's missing his Adderall. Groiper Charlie Kirk killer, Italo Candice says, so amphetamine psychosis. Groiper Charlie Kirk killer, Austin Orth says, no, don't get involved in a side. That's what he did to stay true to yourself. Groiper Charlie Kirk killer, Joshua Montgomery says, what short bus grade school painted those? Groyper Charlie Kirk killer. Zephon Hell says, I didn't vote for either side, but I damn sure ain't a Democrat. Groyper Charlie Kirk killer never subscribed. Says, did some of your Down syndrome kids do the awful artwork behind you? Groyper Charlie Kirk killer. Atello Kennedy says, Patel is a dirty Indian. Groyper Charlie Kirk killer. Atello Kennedy says, you can't trust these people. Zilly Goose is a human, I think. How do you feel about the youth vote moving right? I've noticed it a lot at college. It's Nazi. It's terrible. They should all be ashamed. They should all lose their citizenship, honestly. Joshua Montgomery, Groyper Charlie Kirk killer Joshua Montgomery says, not even with government funding, you still couldn't get the dental work, huh? Groyper Charlie Kirk killer Carl Spencer says, Canada rocks, my girlfriend bleeds maple syrup. Groyper Charlie Kirk killers Joshua Montgomery says, still here, weird, I thought you were shutting it down. Shouting it down, then correct it to shutting. Groyper Charlie Kirk killer Italo Canadese says, like Blair White. Groyper Charlie Kirk killer Italo Canadese says, I just don't understand what's going up with these men beards who wear dresses. Men with beards who wear dresses. Fish fans? Groyper Charlie Kirk killer Joshua Montgomery says, it's okay. I am following you now. I know when you go live again, and I can just block you anytime I want to. Groyper Charlie Kirk killer Joshua Montgomery, but I'll let you dox yourself. Groyper Charlie Kirk killer Zephon Hill says, do you get vaccinated? Groyper Charlie Kirk killer Joshua Montgomery says, Sep, you know he got all 42 boosters. Zep. Correct, Zep. Okay, Groyper Charlie Kirk killer Carl Spencer says Trump 2028, and Groyper Charlie Kirk killer Zephon Hill says, yeah, explains it all. So instead of reading any more comments, I'll just finish off with a song. Do you remember the FBI on a meth bender? Cash was changing Tyler's roommate's gender. While they helped all the Groypers away. While they helped the Groypers get away. And Cash Patel, nobody believes your story. You're just Pateling on yourself. Cash Patel, your lies are really Civil War-y. Chat KGB writes all the bullshit you spew. Leave. So yeah, NetanYouTube failed the test. They just picked about, 600 pedophile, Nazi, terrorist, traitor, Trump-Putineer, Groyper, Charlie Kirk killers for my life. But hey, when the Nazi hunters want to hunt some Groyper, Charlie Kirk killers, ain't nowhere to find them. Hello, Steffelson. Sorry, I was shutting down the live right when you showed up. But yeah, just calling out Trump's lies, and anybody who protects the Groypers is a Groyper. So Adam Mockler, Luke Beasley, everybody in chat, everybody who protects the Groyper is a Groyper, and they're all terrorist Nazis. They're all traitors. So time to round them up. Check out the hashtag Grab 'em by the Posse.